Hey, what's up, everybody? I think this is going out on Facebook. We've got some YouTube stuff. My name is John. I'm with the Under Pressure podcast, and I'm live. So this was not a planned event. I just wanted to surprise everybody and kind of jump in here and test this thing out. Never been gone live on Facebook and YouTube and all this before, so we're going to give it a shot. Um, so I'm John with the Under Pressure Podcast. If you haven't listened to the Under Pressure Podcast, you really need to go on and check it out. And the Under Pressure Podcast, that's where I and sometimes we'll have guests and talk about business and all things under pressure, right? So, as you know, business can be can be filled with a lot of pressure. So, if you're seeing this, if you're tuning in at any point, jump in. I will be discussing a little bit. Today's really we're going to be talking about. If y'all don't know, I work for BergFlow, and we're going to be discussing um, building a winning business through culture. Okay, this key to long term success. So we're going to talk about culture in a big way, and what that means in business, um, and what it means for your business. Okay, I'm going to be emphasizing a couple of things specifically about BergFlow. So we're talking about culture and business culture, but I am going to be talking about an upcoming class. So BergFlow puts on classes. We do their trainings, 2-day trainings, and they're all throughout the year. We've got one coming up. It's September 14th and 15th. Okay. This September 2023, 14th and 15th. That's a Thursday and a Friday. So, all of you business owners, CEOs, leaders in your companies of these service businesses, you need to sign up. All right. You can go to www.bergflow.com/pp. So, it's scrolling at the bottom there. The PP stands for Pivot Point. I'll try not to say PP too many times. So uh, make sure you go there. Make sure you check it out. Listen, this is a 2-day intensive class. On the first day is really going to be core about you as a leader, you personally, and what does it take to build this company up. So it doesn't matter if you're currently a CEO, business owner. If that's you, fantastic. Okay, show up. I don't care if you've been in business 25 years. I don't care if you started the business uh, a month ago. It's not going to matter. And even if you're thinking, like if you know for a fact you're going to be starting a business up and you're kind of getting that process ready and it's about to happen, you should come to this. Okay. It's going to help you set things up correctly, structure, systems, getting your mind right around all of these things as far as like who's going to be in leadership, who should be there, what does this structure look like, um, what is my mind, what should my mindset be around this, and what's important for the company, what about the economics of the company, and even the topic we're going to discuss today on like culture. How do I build a good culture? What is the mission? What is the vision? What are the values? What are the culture? All of these things are in the class and in the training is going to help you. So um, I think you use code pivot and you're going to save $100, guys. It's like $1,000 class. Okay. $1,000 class. And if you go on, you sign up um, today, and I think maybe even tomorrow, use code pivot. You're going to save $100 on that. Okay. So it's $1,000 class, 2-day training for $597. Okay. And if for those that are already clients of ours, you guys know, send your leaders, you guys are going to get it for even cheaper. Sorry for everyone else. It's client privileges. So clients get to send themselves or anyone else in their company for 497. All right. So you're getting a great deal. Everyone else, you're still getting a phenomenal deal. So I would suggest if you're, you know, small, medium, it doesn't matter. Small and medium companies, large companies, bring your leaders. If you're the owner, come check us out. It's going to be an amazing class. All right. All the details are on there. Go there. And hey, if you want to say something about any of this, then make sure you just talk to me on here. Okay. Just start talking. But if you have questions, I'll try to answer. I'm going to be going through this and continuing to talk about business culture. But if you have questions about the class, I think my email is on here as well. So email me. Heck, set up 15 minutes with me, and I'll tell you what BergFlow does. It's free, it doesn't cost anything. And hey, if I know you or don't know you, I'm going to know you after that, and we'll probably be friends because that's just how I am. I like to make friends. So either way, it'll be a good time. Now listen. Now that I've had to spill about BergFlow in that class, which I know some of you, it's limited spots. All right. Like it's going to start filling up, and it's in South Lake, Texas. All right. South Lake, it's up here in the DFW area. The airport's right up the road. It doesn't matter where you are listening to this from. Doesn't matter. We've had people come to this from Canada. Okay. So, shout out to the Canada folks that came, and we had a great time. So go to it, check it out. You can check it out while you're listening to this, whatever. Now let's get into what we're talking about today. So we're talking about this idea of business culture. You may be thinking to yourself, what does that mean exactly? Some of you may be dialed in on your culture, or maybe you think you are. Really just want to dive in because this is this is powerful, and I'm actually in I've recently joined a group, and it's kind of a mastermind. So yeah, just like other people, I'm involved. I try to stay involved, and I've gotten involved in this mastermind class. And one of the things they were talking about, and it was a statistic, and I didn't know the actual number to it, but I'd heard it. So one of the things it was talking about was uh, uh, this idea, like I think it was 2022, 66% of people, the number one reason they left, 66% said, and it was Matt Schneider. Matt, what's up? If you see this later, now, whenever, he said the number one reason was because of culture, right? And most people would think like salary or whatever, but no, it was culture. Um, so if you have, if you have a problem, if you don't know what that means, you don't know what it is, hey, listen up. We're going to talk about it here. Uh, so let's get into it. What's the buzz about it? So business culture, what does it really mean? So a simple definition. Let's just start with that. That's easy enough. It refers to like shared values, beliefs, the norms in your business, and behaviors that shape the identity of an organization. Okay. So this is something you should have established and really had kind of set up before you started your business, right? This should have been something you were thinking about. But a lot of people have so many other things to think about. And then they start to realize, hey, maybe this is, and some people never really think about it. That's okay. That's why we're talking about it. So it's like the collective personality of your company. It's a unique blend of attitudes, principles, and that guide decision making, interactions, and overall work environment. All right. So breaking that down a little bit, shared values, right? So that's part of your culture. Now think about that. What are your values? Are you clear on your values? And here's the other side of this is, did you make your values, your company, we're talking about your company values. So you got to get clear on your values, but your company values as well. So did you communicate those values as you hired people? Are they clear on what they are? Do you even know what they are? Are they written down? Can people find them? Some of the stuff is very important. All right. So make sure this is something you got to start processing, right? Start thinking about. So shared values. That's breaking that down. Beliefs. What are your beliefs? Uh, are you hiring people that are in line with your beliefs and your company beliefs, and what does that look like, right? And then what are the norms? What are the expectations? What do you want to see to be the norm and in within your company? Is the norm going to be to have a culture where you're going to um, help, or do you want people like talking behind your back or talking behind one another's back or bad mouthing the company while they're out on the job? No, of course, these things, this is a part of culture. You don't want those things. You want a healthy culture. But if you're not clear with people on these things, then it's not going to happen. And then behaviors, right? Behavior on the job when people are out doing the work for you. What are they presenting? What have you been clear on that expectation? I think that's probably the one where a lot of people focus. They're like, well, you need to have really good customer service, treat the customers good, do a great job, while you're there, whatever service company and service you're providing. And that's great. But what about all these other things we just mentioned? What about the values? What about beliefs? What are the norms in your company? What's acceptable? What's not? Right? What behaviors you're going to put up with? So now the second part of this you need to think about is specifically who's in charge of the culture? Who owns that? Is it your employees? No, it's not. It's not your employees. It's you. If you're the business owner. Now, if you are listening to this and you're just an employee, you work for someone. Okay, this applies to all business guys. If you're working for someone, then you're not responsible necessarily. They should have shared that culture with you, but you are responsible for buying into that and having the integrity to like be a part of that culture and keep it healthy. So personalities coming together, so many different, and you guys know, you've worked with many people and are right now. So you know that sometimes it can be difficult. So many different beliefs and all these things. So the company has to be very clear about what the expectations are around culture. So anyway, that's kind of a definition and like discussing that. Um, so let's talk about what it looks like, this culture from like the ground up. Building a remarkable business culture, it doesn't happen by chance, right? Like I said, it's intentional. Whether you're the entrepreneur starting from scratch or you're currently like a seasoned CEO leading a large organization, it doesn't matter. Uh, and we'll kind of discuss on how to establish a strong foundation for your company's culture. Okay? 'Cause it's important. And man, I can't stress enough. If you're going to do this from the ground up and you're starting right now is the time to listen. And it's never too late to create a healthy culture. So everything in between is going to be discussed here. So and now talking about embracing core values, at the heart of any thriving business culture lies that set of core values. So I mentioned it before. What are your values? And at the heart of this business culture, there are core values. Now, you either establish them or they created organically. I don't know, but one way or another, there's some core values there, and I hope you have set those out and people know. And if you see this, you're hearing this, and you're thinking, "Well, I don't know if I made that clear." You probably should. So these values, they represent the fundamental principles that your company stands for. Okay, influencing how your team members behave, right? Um, how they collaborate, how they make decisions, and we'll talk about like and get into like why defining your core values and more importantly living by them every day can create a shared sense of purpose and unity among your team. And trust me, you're going to want that. That's what you want in your business. You want that unity, you want that culture. It's going to just make your life a lot easier. It's going to make your business so much better, and it's going to help you, like all these people that you're hiring and they're leaving. You might want to think about your culture a little bit, right? I mean, yeah, we talk about like people leave for money. Somebody offered them $1 more an hour, higher salary, whatever, and that is definitely a motivator, no doubt about it. But I can tell you now, there are people that will stay in a company not just based on if your culture is amazing, if you've really made this clear and your values are online and you've set the stage for that. I'm telling you right now, people will stay and they're going to appreciate that. So, uh, and this begins like leading by example. All right. So culture starts at the top. And like I said earlier, if you're the business owner and you're hearing this or whatever, like it starts at the top. All right. So as leaders, our actions and behaviors set the tone for the entire organization. So if even if you're a leader in your company, the owner of the company should have set these values, mission, vision, values, and culture, right? They should have made those clear. And that's where hopefully, if you're working for them or whatever, you bought into that and you want to be a part of that because of those things. Now, if that never was laid out, that's a problem. So, but even if you're a leader in the organization, your actions and our actions and behaviors set the tone for the entire organization. So that's why this culture starts at the top. And when leaders embody the core values and uphold the culture they envision, it inspires others to follow suit. Right. So we're going to talk about the importance of leading by example and how your leadership style can profoundly impact your company's culture. Okay. Now, what about think about like positive reinforcement, recognizing and rewarding employees for like their hard work is like adding fuel to the fire of motivation, right? So now we're getting into another part of this culture. When you do that as a leader, man, like people want to get, they want appreciation. They want to be rewarded for things. And it doesn't have to be all the time, but if you're just not doing that at all, man, you're the motivation, like you're missing out on that, right? It's a great way to be motivated, like being that positive reinforcement. It not only boosts individual morale, but it also reinforces culture norms you want to encourage. Okay, so how can this drive productivity, foster loyalty, and create culture of appreciation within your business? How's it going to do that? So think about like glue, this glue that bonds. Effective communication is that glue, right? It's the glue that holds a business culture together. So you're doing your reinforcement, morale is high, they're motivated, and then making sure effective communication is there. It's going to be that glue that kind of holds that culture together. Um, and think about that. Think about times and places and businesses where you've worked when there is a lack of communication. The culture is just kind of whatever anyway, right? It's all over the place. There's no clarity. Um, the more communication you have, the easier it is to bind that culture, and you're actually going to feel like you're a part of a community, a part of this work dynamic, rather than a bunch of people just getting job done and they're out on this island. Okay, so you've got to make communication very important, from transparent leadership to open dialogue among team members. Communication plays a pivotal role in aligning everyone towards shared goals and values, right? So know it, like everyone knowing that and continually talking about, I mean, it's not like an everyday thing. You don't talk about culture, like what does it look like, but just the communication keeping those dialogues open is going to make a huge difference in the culture. Uh, and it's going to help like navigating challenges and change, right? So business culture isn't immune to challenges and change. Just because it's a good culture, we're all going to be challenged, and there's always going to be change. So it's not immune to some of that stuff, whether it's rapid growth, mergers, uh, unexpected setbacks, or uh, resilient culture can kind of weather those storms, right? Because of all the things we just talked about. Like when you're fostering that stuff, when you're fostering this motivation through your actions, and the culture's good, it's very clear, there's great communication, holding that stuff, then that culture is going to be able to weather through those storms and be able to pivot and shift together. But it's up to you as leaders, right? Uh, you've got to be able to do that, and we'll talk about like some strategies on how to maintain that strong culture even in times of upheaval, right? And how it can be a source of stability and motivation through tough times. That's something that should be thought about, should be considered. A truly inclusive business culture celebrates, it's going to celebrate diversity as well, and recognizes the value of different perspectives. Okay. Embracing diversity through of like thought, background, and experiences can fuel innovation, creativity, problem solving, all within your company. So business culture celebrates diversity, right? You've got to like allow different perspectives. If you're not, man, you're missing out. Allow different perspectives. Uh, Embracing that stuff, your the ability for your employees to really do the problem solving is going to be amazing. And I'm telling you. So let's talk about specifically around the hiring side of things. Going back to what and it was something Matt said, and not knowing the percentages, 66% of people leaving because of culture, bad culture. So over these things that we've just discussed about culture and who's responsible for it and all this, do you think it's ever too late to really have that discussion around culture within your company? No, it's not. It's not too late to do that. And so it's never going to be too late to have those discussions around culture. And if you're that business owner and you can tell and feel like perhaps the culture is not that great, maybe you've heard some murmurs, you see it going on, you're losing employees right and left, maybe it's time to have that conversation. Sit down and actually review, did you take part? Did you write any of this stuff down? Were they clear on it? Has it been discussed? And then maybe it's time to sit down and write some of these things out, and really dive into this idea of culture and how to make it better, how to improve the culture. Because when you do that, it's also going to help you hire and retain those people. And when you find great talent, hey, you don't want to give them up. And if your culture is toxic, why would they want to stay? People, all businesses all over the place, they are, man, they're passing out money. They'll happily pay a little bit more for that good talent that you have in your company, or underneath you as a leader. They're happily going to pay them a little more if they're a great talent. And that person's going to leave if this place has a better culture. I'm just telling you, right? Like they're going to go. People want culture. They want a good culture. They don't want it talk. They don't want people, okay, they go out on a job and they're starting to work and hey, we don't really do it this way. I know they think we do, and but this isn't really how it happens. You don't really have to clean up this mess. You don't really, or there's a lot of gossip, or they're talking behind like leaders' backs, and I mean that creates a very negative vibe, and and a good talented person, they want opportunity. They want to excel, and they're going to be looking for those opportunities. But they're not going to look for long if the culture's bad. So culture is just so vital, and it's something that's overlooked so much in so many businesses. So take a look at your business, and if you want some more information on this, like, then come to Pivot Point. We're going to discuss some of this, but we're also going to get into all those things that help create the culture. You know, the values and all of that. We're really diving in and digging in and helping you with that. And there's going to be a lot of interactive stuff. So that Pivot Point, it's in September 14th and 15th, Southlake, Texas. 2 full days of deep dive training on you as a leader, as a business owner. And this is going to help. And man, something's going to pop. You're going to get those moments where, like, oh my God, I didn't think about that, or I've never been taught that. That's why we do these things. That's why we go to trainings. I spoke about accountability last time, and that's why, even with culture, like, accountability is a big deal. So um, culture starts at the top. Okay. And as leaders, our actions and behaviors set the tone for the entire organization. Sorry, that's just fact. So when leaders embody the core values and uphold the culture they envision, it inspires others to follow suit. And that's something to remember. So, hey, thanks for coming and listening. If you joined in, if you're here now, I think there's only a couple people. It's okay. Uh, I think you can go back and listen to this, and we'll rebroadcast it. But ask us some questions. Send some comments. Tell us a little bit. Is there something here said? We're not trying to offend anybody, but here's the facts. Um, Culture is important. Look it up. Do some research around it. Don't just take my word on it. I'm just here trying to be a messenger to give you some great information about culture because it's so important. So also go and check out the class. I mean, it's scrolling here. www.bergflow. And if you're listening to this and you can't see the screen, Bergflow is BERGFLOW.com/PP. And that's not, I'm not going to the bathroom here, guys. The letters PP/PP for Pivot Point. It is absolutely free to go on and check it out. There's a lot more details about it. I think there's even a video on the site that you can check out. We'll never even know you went there. Okay, so go check it out, look at it, and talk about it with your leaders. Talk about it with your spouse if you're the owner of that company. Um, Bring your leaders. It's 2 days. It's a minimal investment, right? Like, as far as from you, but you're investing in yourself. You're investing in your leaders. That's a very, very important thing to do. And that's also how you build a healthy culture, is showing them that you as a business owner or leader are interested in leveling up. Okay. And bringing people to level up with you to become better. We don't know it all, right? That saying, and I used to hate it all the time. You don't know what you don't know. It's true. You don't know what you don't know. That's a very simple statement. I don't know what I don't know. And there's a lot of things I don't know, and there's a lot of things you don't know. So come and find out some things. or be reminded or be motivated, get some new skills. We'd love to have you. Um, if you have any questions, you want more information, you want to set like 15 minutes to have a conversation with me. 15 minutes. That's not much time. We'll just talk. Said it before. Uh, John at birdflow.com. You can go there, send me an email, whatever, and set this up. So let me know. Come check us out. You can even go to Birdflow. Just if you want to go to birdflow.com and just check out the site, go around, take a look and see. We do have some other trainings coming up for CEOs. We have trainings on coming up on how to hire. We have an entire system around hiring called TAS, Talent Acquisition Systems. Go over and check that out as well. All right. So thank you for listening. For those that popped in, I really appreciate you spending the time, even if it wasn't the entire time. If you have a chance, go back and check this out, revisit it, and we'll get it back out to you. And feel free to send me any information, any questions, or even if you just want to be mean to me and send me some nasty email, do it. That's fine. I can take it. But I really hope to hear from you. And thanks for tuning in for this first live Under Pressure podcast, where we talk about all things business and under pressure. Have a phenomenal weekend. We'll see you.